Hello and welcome to my tutorial on Clean My PC and how to use it as a troubleshooting tool. And what I mean by that basically is there's a common misconception that when your PC begins to slow down or starts acting erratic or things don't function the way they should, that people immediately think that they have either a virus or it could be something that they installed or maybe a website they brought. This isn't always the case. Windows isn't a perfect operating system, so over time, just like with anything that's new, over time, it can malfunction regardless of what the user's browsing habits or program preferences were. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use this tool as a this program as a means to single out any issues. A lot of times, if you go ahead, just follow the steps that I show you, you might be able to reverse a lot of those issues you're having without having to wipe your whole computer and start all over. As for some people, they have a lot of stuff stored in their PC, so that would be kind of a pain. So I'm going to maybe hopefully make your situation less of a headache. So with that being said, let's go ahead and cut right into the video. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to act like you already have Clean My PC installed. I already have it pre-installed from a previous training session that I gave. So we're going to go ahead with our computer on, the desktop up. We're going to go ahead and we're going to navigate over to Clean My PC. I'll go ahead and give that a second to boot up. Alright, so from here the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to go ahead. We're going to kind of go down the line. The way how I'm going to do it is I'm going to start with my computer. We're going to go to Registry Maintenance. We're not going to use the uninstaller, but I'll show the tab anyways, just to show you what that is. And this one we're going to ignore as well. As I'm not too familiar with every machine and the way how they store the hibernation file may vary, and it's something I don't want to touch or I guess condone onto the viewer, that's you, to do something that may potentially harm your machine. So we're going to go ahead and skip that. We're going to go over extensions a little bit, go through the auto run, and show you some remediation techniques from there. We'll also cut through into privacy as well, and go through the shredder. So we'll go through all these, but we'll go ahead. We'll start with my computer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and scan the computer, and what will be happening is the computer will be looking for all those junk temporary files. And like I said, if you're somebody who hasn't previously cleaned your machine, that could be the issue with your computer slowing down. There could just be a lot of buildup of temporary files and other things. This tool right here is going to go ahead and wipe a lot of that clean, and it's very thorough in what it does. So with that being said, let's go ahead and cut into that. Bear with me that this may not be instant, so it will take some time, so we'll go ahead and let it run. And right now it's going ahead and it's scanning through everything. Right now it's going to go ahead, it's going to scan through the C drive in its entirety, and as you can see right here, this is basically it going through all those temporary files I was just talking about. And as you can see, I haven't cleaned my computer in a while, so this could take a little bit, but it shouldn't be very much longer. I'd say no more than a minute or so. While that's running, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to talk about some other stuff off to the left here because I kind of left them out. So I talked about how I didn't want to mess with the hibernation or the extension, I did want to mess with the extensions. So basically with extensions here, that's basically going in. What it'll do is it'll collectively show you all your browsers and all the extensions that you run off of them, and I won't delete any off of mine, but I will show you maybe there's some things you accidentally installed that could be causing your browsers to slow down. We can go ahead, once this file scan's done, I can go ahead, we'll go into extensions. I'll show you how to do some of that. Auto run right here is that could also be another reason why maybe your machine's slowing down. It's not so much that you installed something that could be slowing it down. It could be something that you installed that unbeknownst to you already had a predetermined settings that cause it to auto boot every time the computer starts up. And the more things that Windows has to boot up at the start, when you're initially booting up the machine, the slower the boot time can be. So, like I said, that could be another reason why your machine could be acting up. Like I said, it's never always tied to a virus, malware, any of that other stuff. Privacy is another thing too. This one, we'll go ahead and go through that. But basically, what this is, just like with extensions, it's going to show all the browsers that you have installed on your machine. Mine, I believe, I have Edge, Internet Explorer, and Chrome. And what it's going to do, it's going to show all three of those, and then it's going to show all the, it's going to show all the, more or less all the junk and temporary files from your browsers. So collectively, in one swoop, you can go ahead and delete all those junk files, the temporary files, anything that you may have built up through browsing over time. And like I said, that can add to the slowdown now. So we're still sitting here waiting on this. So we're going to go ahead. This shouldn't be much longer. Okay, I think for the sake of the video here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop this, because this might take longer than a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and hit stop. I'm going to go through the other motions. They're a lot quicker. Okay, this is perfect actually. So it didn't do a full scan, but this is what I found so far, and I'm sure if it went further, it would have found more garbage. And the more stuff that you collect over time can cause a machine to slow down. So like I said, this thing thoroughly goes through and looks for all that. I guess, I mean, in a sense, if you really wanted to say, the My Computer and the privacy part is kind of redundant, because this should already be going through looking for browser, going through browser, all through there. This should be going through all the browser photos or folders, looking for all the junk and then cleaning it out. That being said, let's go ahead, run clean here. Oh, and I accidentally have Edge up, so we'll go ahead. We'll just do a force quit and whatever. And right now you're gonna see it. Go ahead and start cleaning here. And right now it's cleaning all the stuff that it found so far. And just for the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and stop it again. I'll probably have to run this on my own later, because it looks like I have a lot of garbage built up on mine. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. The next thing we're going to want to do here is, you see I just clicked on Registry Maintenance. So right now what it's going to be doing is looking for all, it's going to go through the registry system. It's more or less like a file cabinet of everything you have installed, or an index, if you will. And right now it's going to go through that index, looking for all the erroneous entries and everything and what have you. And like I said, if you have a lot of erroneous entries in your registry, that can also lead to a slowdown too. So this is something you'd want to use as well to go ahead and remediate the slowdown, or single it out that's not a virus or malware, what have you. So we're going to go ahead, hit fix registry. This should be very quick. So we're going to go ahead, let's see, it's very quick. So we're going to let that run. I got 207 issues. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to do, well, we're not going to do new scan. I forgot this auto cleans. It used to be on the older versions that you actually had to hit clean, but it looks like this one does it automatically. We'll go ahead and we'll run through the installer. I'm not going to go ahead and uninstall anything, but like I said, this is always a good chance when you're using this tool to look through your installed program. And like I said, this program does everything for you in terms of uninstalling. Nothing advanced, but you want to sift through this and look through some things that maybe you might have been accidentally installed, or something you don't want on the machine or you don't use. Let's say you don't want Bubble Witch 3 Saga. I'm assuming this comes pre-installed with Windows 10. I guess maybe I'll go ahead and show you guys how to do one uninstall. I lied. So we'll go ahead, we'll run the uninstall here. And it's very speedy. It should be fast on here because I'm running a 128 gig solid state on this PC, so a little zippy. Just the scanning's not fast. So we'll go ahead. You see how quick it was uninstalled. There was no hoops to jump through to get it uninstalled. And like I said, if you have a lot of stuff that you don't want on your machine that can add the slowdown, you can go ahead and use this, sift through, and delete those programs. So we'll go ahead. We're going to hit finish. Like I said earlier, we're not going to mess with hibernation. We're going to cut over to extensions. Let's see here. I'm go ahead and run this, and this is going to go ahead. Okay, should be showing my extensions here. This one I'm not going to mess with because I already have everything cleaned up, but usually if you're looking through extensions, like say you're somebody who uses a lot of, and I guess I should back up and tell you what extensions are. Extensions basically are, like the word says, it's an extension. It's an extension of a browser's capability. So natively, we'll use this as an example. Natively, Google doesn't have its own like built-in phone dialer or something. Well, you can go onto Google, download their phone dialer, and then you'll have it as an extension. So anytime you go to the phone dialer page, you'll see a little phone dialer pop up in the bottom right corner that looks like a keypad on a phone. You know, if you had a lot of stuff like that installed and you want to get rid of it, you would click check, and then you would hit clean, and then it would go ahead and clean that out. But I'm not going to go ahead and do that. I've already actually done this on mine, so as you can see, my extensions are fairly clean. The next one we're going to talk about over here is the auto run. Like I said, this is another thing that I was talking about earlier, where the more stuff that you might have installed, and it's not always going to be just because you installed something that's the problem. It could be the program is pushing it by default, is going to auto boot or auto run when Windows starts up, causes a slowdown. From here, you can go ahead and you could just for instance go through and shut off the security health, which I guess by default mine did. I think that's because that's for Windows Defender, but you could go and shut these all off. I'm not going to shut off those because I do need those up, because I do use those, but ideally you could go through and they're just like little dip switches, and it's literally just an instant off. That can also reverse some of the issues you might be having in terms of slowdown and or erratic program boot times. So we're going to go ahead and just, and I have to add another caveat to this. So I said it was collectively your browsers. It's actually going to also be Windows Explorer as well, and that's where I was kind of getting into why it's a little why it is kind of redundant when my computer should be getting this all, but I still run through it and just do it anyways. So we'll go ahead, just for the sake of the demonstration. This shouldn't take long, so go ahead and run through this. Like I just said earlier, you click clean, go ahead, let it run through. It shouldn't take long, and it's already done. But like I said, it's going through your browser history, cookies, anything else that is temporary. Well, cookies aren't temporary, give or take, but it goes through all those and it clears those out. The next one we're going to go through is the shredder. I really don't have anything that I need to shred right now, but this one isn't so much tied to or help remediating slowdowns or what have you. This one you could kind of just use if you had a lot of stuff okay, I take it back. You probably could use this as it means to single out if you're having like a slowdown in terms of hard drive space and what have you, because this program, what it'll actually do is it will make it so when you delete a file, it will actually permanently delete the file, so it's not recoverable. Versus if you were to go into Windows Explorer and then right click on something and hit delete. Where is my delete button? Okay, the delete button accidentally disappeared on me, but there would be a delete button, and then it would say, do you want to send this to a recycle bin? You hit yes, it's going to be in your recycle bin. And even though you go ahead, boy, that's really going to bug me. So let me go ahead and find something I can click on that's really silly. Okay, here we go. We'll go ahead and go with that. It didn't ask me for a prompt. I forgot to shut it off. But what it did do is it went to my recycling bin. And another feature I just realized that was added on, I recently just updated my Clean My PC. So it used to be it would ask you if you wanted to send it to the recycling bin. Now it just goes ahead and shoots it to the recycling bin on its own. And you can go ahead and click empty recycling bin, which will do what's exactly what the shredder's doing. This is actually Clean My PC running when that's a Clean My PC prompt. So we'll go ahead and hit empty recycle bin, and then it goes ahead and deletes it, but we'll go ahead and leave that alone. Hopefully you found this video, I hope you found this video to be informative and to give you better insight as to how to use Clean My PC and a means to clean up your slowed down machine, and hopefully mitigate the situation of having to delete your entire hard drive and starting over. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I appreciate you viewing my video. Thank you.